Welcome to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25 Media. We feature top founders, executives, and business leaders from all over the world.
Chad Franzen here, co-host for the show where we feature top restaurateurs, investors, and business leaders. This is part of our SpotOn series. SpotOn has the best-in-class payment platform for retail, and they have a flagship solution called SpotOn Restaurant, where they combine marketing, software, and payments all in one. They've served everyone from larger chains like Dairy Queen and Subway to small mom and pop restaurants. To learn more, go to SpotOn.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise 25. We help B2B businesses to get ROI, clients, referrals, and strategic partnerships through Done For You podcasts. If you have a B2B business and want to build great relationships with clients, referral partners, and thought leaders in your space, there's no better way to do it than through podcasts and content marketing. To learn more, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. For almost 10 years, Josh and Pamela Beadel have been the owners of The Breakfast Bar with 2 locations in Long Beach, California. They're entrepreneurs who are creative, influential game changers of the restaurant industry. Josh and Pam, thanks so much for joining me. How are you guys?
Good. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to have you. Hey, so if you could, one of you, tell me about The Breakfast Bar for those of us who haven't been there, and what a customer might expect when going there.
So the Breakfast Bar was kind of designed around several things. One, our family. We started this business because we have 2 young kids, and we wanted to be a part of their lives. So we came from the nightclub and bar business, and so we created the Breakfast Bar as a fun atmosphere place that is encouraged to be drinking during the day, because we have a full bar at our breakfast restaurant, which is kind of unusual for breakfast places. And so yeah, we've designed it all around our family. So we incorporate a lot of our family recipes, things that have been passed down from generation to generation, like our omelet casserole, my mom's potato pancakes. And so we do a lot of love in our cooking, and a lot of really fun things to kind of play on the whole blending of the bar and breakfast together.
So I've been to breakfast restaurants where they serve Bloody Marys and Mimosas. Is this different?
So it's, in addition to that, we have full cocktail lists with craft cocktails and fresh ingredient juices and stuff like that. But we really try to just, like I said, create a fun environment so people feel encouraged to kind of partake during the day. And so.
My favorite drink is the breakfast margarita, and we actually make our blood orange marmalade, and we put that into the breakfast margarita. And so that's kind of one of our other specialty drinks that we make. We make a cinnamon toast crunch shot, and so we have a bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah, sounds great. Did you guys design or come up with all of these drinks, or many of these drinks yourselves, or did you already kind of hear about them or know about them going into it?
Yeah, so before we started the restaurant, we were both servers and bartenders in the industry for a long, long time. Pretty much all I've ever done is the restaurant business since I was 16 years old. So worked at every level of capacity in the restaurant, from cooks to busters, expediters, manager, bartender, bar manager, all kinds of different stuff. And so, yeah, just picked up stuff along the way over the years. And as we're designing the restaurant, it's basically, how do we put a breakfast flair, a breakfast twist into all of our ingredients and all of our stuff. So we try to just be creative and unique in that way. So we use a lot of breakfast ingredients in cocktails, like we make our own homemade triple berry jam that we use to make berry cocktails. And we make an orange marmalade that we put in our margaritas. And so it's typical breakfast stuff used in cocktails, and kind of vice versa, also used in the kitchen. So we use like cornflake chicken or cornflakes to batter our chicken, and we deep fry it with cornflakes so it gets a crispy outside with the cornflakes. So using cereal to coat things and things like that too.
Yeah, sounds great. What was your first job at 16?
Red Lobster. That was kind of like my training grounds for about 6 years. Did a lot of things there, from serve, bartend, bus.
What did you start out as?
I started out as a baker, actually, making the Cheddar Bay biscuits and stirring that thing with my hand, and put a glove on and mix the cheese and baked potatoes and rice and work through the kitchen.
When you left Red Lobster, what had you been doing?
when I left Red Lobster.
Yeah, like what was your last job at Red Lobster? You started out as a baker.
So I started as a baker, worked my way through the kitchen, became a line cook, and became an expediter. Started moving towards the front of the house so I could make more money and tips and things like that, and bus tables. And then I started serving and bartending. So my last job was a bartender, and decided to leave Red Lobster because I just felt like I learned all I could there, and I really didn't want to be in the corporate atmosphere much anymore. And so anyhow, both of us kind of were at our wits' end at that point. Pam was serving tables then, and we got a job at a live concert venue here in Long Beach called the Vault 350. It was open from 2004 to 2009, and I started there as a bar back, so I kind of took a pay cut or like a downward position. But I told myself I was going to learn everything I could by going into that position. So I surrounded myself with the managers and the people, and tried to put myself in situations where I could learn inventory and how to cost management and all these types of things that I learned from the back end. And then about a year later, I ended up running the bar and running the entire nightclub for the next 3.5 years. And same thing with my wife. She started there as a server and then became a manager, and then moved on to a Greek restaurant from there. So, just try to, again, surround ourselves and learn everything we can through work experience.
Sure. Was Red Lobster your first restaurant job, Pam?
Yeah, Red Lobster was also my first job. And we worked at the same Red Lobster. We had just gotten married, so that was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was there for about 2 years. And then, we both got hired at this nightclub. I was there for about 9-10 months, and then I moved over to a family-owned Greek restaurant in Long Beach called George's Greek Cafe. And they're actually still around. They've been around Long Beach for over 20 years. And I was there for over 8 years, and I call that my schooling. And
Sure.
I served, and then I was the general manager there, and actually became part owner of one of their restaurants. Sorry, we're close to a fire station, so you might hear a fire truck going by. It's city living.
Yeah, no problem. I heard a little bit, but it's no big deal. Josh, when you started working at Red Lobster, and even during the course of your time there, did you envision yourself working in the restaurant industry kind of as your career, or was that just a way to make money at 16?
At first it was just a way to make money. I was also studying music at Long Beach State, and I thought I was going to be a professional musician, but that's also a tough road. And like I said, I've always been making money in restaurants, and so it was an easy way for me to kind of continue in that. But I had a vision when I was about 16 years old of music and restaurant business, and kind of the restaurant business almost won out. But I've always wanted to have my own place, or have my own place that I could play music or something like that. And it's kind of morphed into this dream of the breakfast bar and other ventures that we're doing.
Yeah, that's great. So, Pam, you were working at a Greek restaurant. Josh, you were still working at the bar club, nightclub. How did the breakfast bar kind of get developed during that time?
Well, so we started a family, which was first kind of not right then, but it was kind of incentivized by the wheels started turning. So if we're going to start a family, how do we then create a lifestyle that we can have with our family to create a healthy lifestyle, basically, because we can't work vampire hours in the nightclub, getting up at 1 p.m. and trying to go to work at 8 or 9 p.m. That just doesn't work for children. So there was always this need to create something cool like what we had experienced at other brunch restaurants in town. And there's a place kind of the dream was inspired by that was always busy here in Long Beach, called Schooner Relators. And it's not that Schooners is really amazing and blows your mind as far as cuisine or anything like that. It was more so just the experience from the patio and kind of drinking a bottle of champagne before you get there. But there was nothing like that in the downtown Long Beach area where we had lived and worked for so many years. And so we were like, well, there's obviously a community that goes over there. Why wouldn't they just come for something similar on the other side of town? And so that's kind of where the dream was inspired. And then we kind of, we're thinking about how we blend the bar and breakfast together. And that's how we came up with the breakfast bar name, which seems to work really well.
two best meals of the day is brunch and happy hour. So we just put those together.
Very, very nice. Yeah, sounds great. So, I'm guessing you have two locations now, but you started out with one, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How, what were kind of the early days like there?
Well, when we first started, I was still bartending at a nightclub for the first 6 months, and so we're attached to a Travelodge hotel, and there happens to be a little pool there. So I would open the restaurant in the kitchen, and some days it was just me in the kitchen and Pam working the front as a server, and she would need help making waters, for customers as they come in, or filling coffees and stuff like that. So I'd run out and help her with that, and then I would need help in the kitchen, so she'd come back. And some days people would look at us and say, "Is it just the two of you in here?" And they're like, "Yeah, this is our family business. We're just getting started. Thank you for your support." And just like really like grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
But
we had, thank goodness we worked downtown for so many years, and we had so many friends and regulars that were just coming in, and they were just, one of our friends, he's like, "I just want you guys to make it." And so he would come in like once or twice a week and sit in the window so we'd look busy from the outside. And so we had a lot of regulars and people that just supported us and rallied against us. But his cousin Russell came and moved in with us for a couple months, and he was a cook, so he helped us open the restaurant. Our daughter Jackie wasn't even 2 when we opened, so we needed help like on all ends. And so we just really, it was cool. We had this community here that we all just they took care of us and we took care of them. And about a month and a half in, Josh and I just had a really busy, like a Tuesday or something. And there was this really nice family sitting in there of like 6. And the mom looks around and she goes, "Your food is really good. You're going to need help." And so I sent out some texts to some old employees that I knew that were looking for jobs or would want to come work for us. And so by the next couple of weeks, we just started getting employee after employee after employee and started getting busier and busier. When we first opened, we only had beer and wine. So we were still doing the Bloody Marys and things, but we were using, the rice wine. And so it was working out. It was working fine. And then 2 years in, we were able to get a full liquor license. So that was really exciting. We created an early morning happy hour called the Walk of Shame. It's from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And we get really busy. And, especially downtown, it's the convention centers down there. And so there's people from all over the world that are here and they're hungry at 6 a.m. We're also right down the street from a hospital. So we call them the Blue Crew. And when it's been a crazy night at the hospital because the Blue Crew is in and they're drinking and hanging out before they go home and go to bed, after their shifts. So it's festive, it's fun. We definitely serve a purpose in our community. We're the birthday spot, we're the bachelorette party spot, we're the spot when the first day of school when parents drop off their kids and then everybody goes and has breakfast and a Bloody Mary to celebrate that we made it through summer. So yeah, it's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah. So is every day at that time like hopping, or is it busier on weekends?
Definitely busier on weekends. Our downtown location tends to be busy a lot more of the time, just because of where it's at with, like I said, conventions and hotels and
10 years.
10 years of operation, really. Our other location is more residential. And so it's a lot of neighbors sitting next to each other. Kids from school recognize each other from across the room and that sort of a thing. So each restaurant definitely has its own personality and feel and vibe for sure.
So I'm sure you had kind of a vision in terms of what you were looking for in a vibe, but that kind of restaurant / bar in the morning is somewhat unusual. How long before you like the vibe kind of met your vision?
That's a good question.
I would say that 2-year mark, honestly, when we started getting busier and we were able to purchase a full liquor license, and then it really started to take root from there because we did have a full cocktail list that we could make more than just wine, Bloody Marys and stuff like that, because it's really hard to mix that kind of stuff without it just doesn't taste quite the same. And being a longtime bartender, it was gratifying to bring that to the table, and it was an investment that surely paid off in a couple months. It was not a big deal. So
Did you guys do marketing to get the word out that you were open when you first started?
Honestly, we didn't do any marketing. We really have stuck to very little marketing. It's been word of mouth more than anything. We do a couple print ads with some local travel magazines who are friends of ours that put on those magazines. And then we market through the convention center and visitors bureau that we're members of and things like that. But really my philosophy is if we take care of the person right in front of us, then that's going to spread. And so if we can just continue to do that, we're going to be okay.
Sure, that's good. So you had a location downtown. At what point did you think it was time to expand or try to move, into a different location besides downtown?
Well, I'm more the gas and Pam's the brakes. So if I would have been looking probably 3 or 4 years into our operation, but just preparing and planning and family life and all the things that go into to involved really just when the right location came up. And so the right location kind of came up around 2019, and we had secured the lease here in September of 2019, and then the pandemic hit right in March, and so we were kind of already knee deep in this new project when the pandemic hit, and it took us almost 2 years later to get it open. So we just opened about a year ago, February 14th.
Yeah, it was our 1 year anniversary.
So
And we're doing great. We've been busy. It's been getting better and better.
yeah, so we kind of hit the ground running because we did definitely like our third year in sales at the downtown location. We started doing year one at this location. So definitely a good name in the community. And that's really what's been paid off.
Yeah, awesome. How did you mentioned the pandemic? How did that kind of affect operations at the location that was open? Did it really stymie things? What happened?
Yeah, we basically overnight we went from 60 employees to about 10. And we, downtown, we're in LA County, so everything we were shut down for a long time. And we kind of wrestled at the beginning, do we do a grocery store? Because a lot of other restaurants have kind of started doing like a market, and just kind of wrestle with it. And we came across a nonprofit called World Central Kitchen, and we got hooked up with them, which was amazing. And what they were doing was, a lot of people were donating to them, and then they were feeding first responders. They were feeding a lot of traveling nurses and doctors that were in the country. They were feeding, a lot of the elderly homes. They couldn't go and get groceries or really even leave their room. So they were having local restaurants make meals. They were paying the restaurants $10 a meal. UPS was coming and picking up meals and then delivering them to wherever they needed to go. And it really, really saved our business. And it was amazing because the first, day they called, they're like, can you do 125 meals or can you do 50 meals? And within a couple of weeks, we were doing 500 to 800 meals a week.
Wow.
So, as far as that was concerned, and immediately I was able to bring back like 6 employees. To-goes kind of started getting a little more, people were wanting to get to go. They weren't so afraid anymore. So that started picking up at the same time. So, we just roll with the punches. My only goal the whole entire time was to get every single person back on payroll. I knew we were going to survive. I knew we were going to outlast this thing. There was no other option for us but to just stay open, keep going, and to open another restaurant in the meantime.
Yeah. So you went from 60 to 10, and then your goal was to bring everybody back. Did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, with number wise, yeah, people's whole life upended. So people moved in that whole thing. But between both locations, right now we have about 81 employees.
Wow.
So
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Was there anything that COVID caused you guys to have to change, and then now it's just permanently changed as a result, like some sort of operations?
We do a lot more to-goes now. That was kind of just a little more stagnant than it is now prevalent that people are ordering to go, and that's just people's habits have shifted a little bit.
We love that you can do cocktails to go now in the state of California.
Oh, nice.
Because that didn't happen before, and that really helped our business too during the pandemic.
Yeah, when we first went, when we first got shut down, it just became Pam and I, we were on unemployment ourselves because we pay ourselves W-2, so we were able to take unemployment in order to stay open. And so it was just her and I in the front and a couple cooks in the back, and we were just trying to make it by the skin of our teeth, you know.
Yeah.
And thank
Wow.
goodness, with our restaurant, we had resources for our employees. So we were ordering cases of toilet paper and everybody would come pick up a couple rolls, and we could order milk and eggs and cheese. And, we let our employees know, if you guys need something, like, just let us know. We would call it like the WIC program, and I would stick milk and bread and a couple tomatoes and a couple potatoes and a couple rolls of toilet paper in a bag. And they knew they could come get whatever they needed from us because we were able to still get it.
Have you found, now moving kind of out of that pandemic and realizing what you guys have, when you first opened both of your locations, did you find that there was kind of an appetite for this type of thing that people didn't realize they had?
The breakfast and cocktails.
Yeah, like a breakfast bar type service.
I think it's just a really hot market right now as far as breakfast is concerned. Long Beach is a good breakfast place. Just people love going to breakfast here. But I would say that's kind of everywhere you go. When you go to a place, even in Riverside, there's a line out the door for a breakfast place on, during the week and on the weekends. And I think it's just a really hot model right now. And which is why we want to grow. We've grown to this next location. We're actually in the process of building our third location, also in Long Beach. And you look at companies like Snoozes, and they have probably, 12 locations, and that's very similar to our concept. Although I think their food is just a little bit more adventurous than our food is, and our food is a little more comforty and a little more homey. And I think people really dig that as well. So
your next one is also going to be in Long Beach?
Yeah, also in Long Beach, we're looking at this one as being our hub, because we're going to do all of our prepped items out of that location as our commissary, and then ship them over to the other two locations. This one is over in the El Dorado Park Estates area, so it's really close to Cerritos, Cypress, Norwalk, and Downey, and all those areas. And we really feel confident that this is going to be a slam dunk for us because of the amount of parking that's there and the size of the location. And what its proximity is to all these other things. And we're trying to create a model where we're able to scale and do two more that can be serviced out of this one big hub from there.
So given everything you guys have kind of done and gone through with COVID and everything like that, starting a new restaurant, what are some of the things you're most proud of looking back?
That we're still married. And we still like each other. No, I'm just kidding.
No joke, though. Marriage is tough enough, and being in business together is also tough, right? And business partnerships are tough, and yet we take it home, and it's everything we do is all intertwined together with raising our kids and having 81 other kids or employees that we call kids are part of our family. And it's with a heavy weight and a responsibility that we kind of take all those things. So yeah, I think the marriage is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, that's great. Well, congratulations on your success.
20 years we've been married, but
that is awesome.
Where we fight in the restaurant and we just try to avoid each other like this, right?
You can't avoid it when you go home. So
do you have?
Go ahead.
Do you have some rule like we can't talk about work between this hour and this hour, or do you just try to do the best you can?
I give her a 5-minute rule so we can bitch for 5 minutes and then we can move on after that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that we've been doing it since we got married. We've been in the restaurant business together. We worked, even when I was at George's, he worked at George's for a little while too. So I think it's been enough time that we have learned how to balance it better. I don't know though. Ask our kids. We probably drive them crazy sometimes.
Well, hey, good for you guys. Congratulations on all your success and your 20 years of marriage. Very, very awesome. I have one more question for you, but first, how can people find out more about the Breakfast Bar?
So you can always go to our website at thebreakfastbarlbc.com. That's where all of our food is listed and everything else. We also have Instagram and Facebook pages at Breakfast Bar LBC, and you can find us there. We're always posting different stuff. We had a great social media team that's really well connected in the community. And you can find out all about different events on our website, as well as some of the charitable organizations that we're giving to. We're hosting a pancake breakfast. We just started our own 501(c) called the Beadel Family Foundation, and we're starting to do pancake breakfasts to raise money for causes and things in our community that we care about. And so the first event, May 4th, is going to be here at our 4th Street location, 3404 East 4th Street. And we're supporting the Guardian Scholars Program at Cal State Long Beach, which is a foster youth program that gives back to foster youth through their higher education. And we feel really, really good about that. And then we also sell our T-shirts, which we have marketing with Day Drinker, they say on them. And we're promoting that as well. So you can find out about that at daydrinkerlbc.com. And we're launching that website platform for purchasing those shirts very soon. So,
okay, sounds great. Hey, last question. So if you guys were to go for a brunch date at the breakfast bar, what would kind of each of your drink/meal items look like?
Well, the question is if I'm hungover or not, then I'm going to get the hungover bowl, which is our big bed of French fries. It's our breakfast poutine. So it's bed of French fries with our sausage gravy, sausage, peppers, and onions, and cheesy scrambled eggs. It's like a big mess, but it works really well. Dump some hot sauce on there and spice it up. What do you like?
Well, I love our espresso martini. So I think I'd have to have one of those or two of those for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love our breakfast Sammy, and it's just, egg, tomato, lettuce, our homemade aioli. It's just really simple, but it's just delicious. And then our homemade potato pancake is really unique and really special to us. And you can't come here without having at least one of those.
We do so many fun things. It's really hard to choose. And that's why we tell people to just order a bunch of different stuff so they can all share and try different things. We got like candied bacon and pork belly skewers and all kinds of really fun stuff on the menu. So
perfect. Sounds awesome. Hey, Josh and Pam, thanks so much for your time today. It's been great to talk to you. Congratulations. And it was fun to hear about the breakfast bar.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25. Visit rise25.com to check out more episodes of the show and to learn more about how you can start your own podcast.